Welcome back to Mahabharata. In our last episode, we explored the origins of Mahabharata and the beginnings of Kuru dynasty. Today, we continue with a tale of love, sacrifice and destiny, focusing on King Shantanu, his faithful marriage to Ganga, and the birth of one of the most iconic figures in this epic, Bhishma. This episode, The Curse of the King Shantanu, explores how choices and promises can shape destinies. Let's dive into the story of Shantanu and Ganga, whose reunion sets the stage for the events that unfold in this great epic. Our story begins in the ancient kingdom of Hastinapura. King Shantanu, a just and noble ruler, was beloved by his people. Although a strong warrior and a compassionate leader, Shantanu felt a deep solitude in his heart, longing for a connection that transcended his earthly duties. One day, while walking along the banks of the sacred river Ganga, Shantanu saw a woman of eternal beauty standing by the water. She seemed almost otherworldly, her movements fluid like the river, her face calm and serene. This was the goddess Ganga herself, and Shantanu, spellbound by her beauty, approached her. He felt his heart flood with a love he had never known and proposed marriage to Ganga. Ganga agreed, but laid on one condition. Shantanu must never question her actions, no matter how strange or painful they might seem. If he brought this promise, she would leave him forever. Shantanu, enchanted and driven by love, accepted this unusual condition. After this marriage, Shantanu and Ganga lived happily together. Soon, Ganga bore him a child, filling Shantanu's heart with joy. But to his shock, Ganga took the newborn, walked to the edge of the river, and released the baby into the waters, where it disappeared. Shantanu, horrified, wanted to question her, to demand an explanation, but remembered his vow and stayed silent. Again and again, this strange pattern repeated. 7 times Ganga bore Shantanu a child, and each time, she took the infant to the river and released it. Shantanu's sorrow grew with each child lost, but he kept his silence out of love and honor. Finally, when Ganga bore their 8th child, Shantanu could bear it no longer. As she prepared to release this infant, Shantanu intervened and questioned her, breaking his promise. Ganga turned to him, her expression a mix of sorrow and understanding. She explained, "O king, these children are no ordinary mortals. They are the Vasus. Vasus are celestial beings who were cursed to be born as humans. By releasing them, I freed them from their mortal lives, allowing them to return to their divine forms. But now, because you stopped me, our 8th child must live out of his life on earth." Ganga named this child Devarita and blessed him, saying he would grow to be a man of immense strength, wisdom and virtue. With a final farewell, she disappeared into the river, leaving Shantanu with their son. Shantanu's heart was filled with bittersweet joy. He dedicated himself to raising Devarita, who would one day become Bhishma. Devarita grew up with immense promise. Shantanu, though sorrowful over Ganga's departure, poured all his love and guidance in his son's upbringing. Devarita was trained by the best teachers, mastering the arts of warfare, archery, and statecraft. As he matured, he earned respect for his strength, intelligence, and unwavering virtue. Devarita's skill in combat were unmatched, and his loyalty to his father and his kingdom was absolute. His reputation spread far and wide, and he brought pride to the kingdom of Hastinapura. Shantanu, though aged, found immense joy and solace in watching his son grow into a noble warrior and prince. Someone who could carry the weight of the Kuru throne with honor. Years passed, and Shantanu's life took another fateful turn. One day, while walking by the Yamuna river, he encountered a beautiful woman named Satyavati. Her grace and beauty captured him, and Shantanu's heart was once again moved by love. He sought her hand in marriage, but there was one condition. Satyavati's father, a fisherman, was concerned about his daughter's future, and told Shantanu that he would only agree to the marriage if Satyavati's children would inherit the throne. Shantanu, bound by his duty to Devarata, as the rightful heir, could not make such a promise. He returned to Hastinapura, torn and sorrowful, unable to decide between his love for Satyavati and his duty to his son. Seeing his father's silent suffering, Devarata to Satyavati's father, and made an unthinkable sacrifice. To honor his father's wishes, he renounced his claim of the throne, vowing that Satyavati's children would inherit it. But he didn't stop there. To ensure there would be no challenge to his oath, he took a more difficult vow. He pledged to remain celibate for his entire life. This promise, binding him to a life without marriage and children, would ensure that Satyavati's lineage would continue unchallenged. This vow was so intense, so awe-inspiring, that it earned him the name Bhishma, which means the one who took a terrible vow. Even the gods are said to have blessed Bhishma for his sacrifice, granting him the boon to choose the time of his own death. The people of Hastinapura admired Bhishma's selflessness, and Shantanu, overwhelmed by his son's sacrifice, gave him a blessing that he would live a long, powerful life, free from the bonds of ordinary mortality. Thus, Devarata became Bhishma, a man bound by duty and sacrifice. His vow would define not only his life, but the future of the Kuru dynasty. His loyalty to his father's legacy and his dedication to the Kuru kingdom would make him a legendary figure, but one whose life was shaped by duty rather than personal happiness. While Bhishma's vow ensured a peace and stability in the present, it left the future vulnerable. The absence of his own descendant would lead to conflicts and power struggles within the royal family, setting the stage for the events of Mahabharata, the legendary battle of Kurukshetra. Bhishma's story remains a testament to the sacrifice that duty can demand. Though revered and respected, he paid a great personal cost for the sake of his father's honor. And so we conclude this chapter on the curse of King Shantanu, the Bhishma story. A tale of loyalty, sacrifice, and honor is only the beginning. In the next episode, we will explore Bhishma's continued role in the Kuru dynasty and relationships that shape the lives of the next generation, the Pandavas and the Kauravas, whose fates are tied up to the epic battle of justice, honor, and survival.